Hi everyone, welcome to another Blu-ray slash DVD update for the films, of course, that I acquired September and October 2019. So yes, here we are, a very quick video here hopefully, and just an update here. I know I'm very delayed in this, it's kind of mid-November really now, but at least by the time this is uploaded, I guess. And yeah, it's just a little video here to kind of go through the just the Blu-rays this time. I've not got any DVDs, I guess. That's dwindling. I rarely buy DVDs unless I really have to, or if it's considerably cheaper and it's a film that I'm not sure, or maybe that very rare kind of occasion there that would be. But yes, 4Ks as well here, and yes, of course, it's kind of I've been a bit delayed in this. I've just been very busy. Of course, in general, actually, I think come December, there'll be a lot more kind of frequent uploads here. I think, really looking forward to actually kind of branching off, not just doing reviews, which is kind of my main thing. More lists to come, kind of maybe some other content as well, actually, kind of look forward to that. But yes, just more kind of uploads very frequently in comparison to what I've been doing, but not, including, kind of, we'll exclude the week, of course, of Christmas and New Year, be a lot more busier then, but, just in general, coming, going forward, I think, after, this month, I will definitely be doing more videos and, yeah, hopefully more variety of kind of different series and stuff, but yes, here we are finally to talk about the kind of small pickups here, a very brief video, I think Christmas coming up, of course, that's going to be a bigger haul, and yes, we'll start off, and I think I'm going to just hold this in a very particular way. Let's just see. Yes, for obvious reasons, I don't want that to happen again, but here we are. Apocalypse Now, final cut, and I say that, because that was a mistake that this video was taken down for this film, but, just to be sure for kind of things that I think could lead to that, we'll just show it like this. Very strange way of holding it, but yeah, I have to kind of be kind of very safe with this one, very kind of very precarious, but here we are with the set, final cut, and yes, 6 discs here, and just stunning, of course. One of my very favourite films of all time, and of course I did review this. It was taken down accidentally, of course it was picked up, and that's why I'm just very hesitant about this whole kind of thing now, so I won't show kind of the full set, I won't open it out, but yes, one of my favourite films, for the record, the third best Coppola film. I think the first two Godfather films, are finer. I do much prefer them, but Apocalypse Now, of course, is another magnum opus in my opinion from Coppola, and of course, yes, I watched the original, reviewed that, of course, and I will be watching Final Cut, giving a kind of a video, a discussion on that. I won't be doing another review as such, but yes, kind of talking about the differences and just going through my experience, with that kind of version, and that'll be quite soon, I hope, very soon, in the next couple of weeks, hopefully, and because I've seen Redux many years ago. I wasn't anywhere near as big a fan of that as I was, kind of the original, and I know, the Final Cut has kind of got, more scenes that are also in Redux as well, but one's taken out. But I think just in general, I think the original is my favourite, based on what I know from Redux as well. But yes, I will be giving a video on that, kind of going through that. But yeah, of course, a wonderful addition to my collection, of course. And speaking of Coppola, next up is his version of Dracula, 1992, also known as Bram Stoker's Dracula. Yes, 4K, of course, as well. This was a deal. I got this with Dunkirk, actually, which I'll show next. And yes, just a wonderful transfer here. This is amazing. Just the colours, for example, are just wow. This is a wonderful film to look at, certainly, and just I think the whole kind of transfer here and what they've done with it is remarkable. It really is, and I think just one of my favourite horrors of all time. Of course, I watched this on Halloween, on the night of Halloween, and yes, just what a film. I know it's not a very popular film, overall. I think not a lot of his later work is kind of Francis Ford Coppola, of course, you know, this is another film that's just very, very divisive, you know, from him. But I personally love this film. I think it's really, you know, it could be a masterpiece. I'm not going to reveal at the moment, but I think, you know, last time I gave it 98 when I reviewed it last year. But I think, you know, it probably is a masterpiece, actually. It could be a 99% from me now. I think it just is a stunning, stunning work, and just the tragedy, the romance, you know, just how kind of theatrical this film is, this experience. It's just a real traditional piece of filmmaking here that I just really, really love, and one of my favourite horrors. And yeah, I won't be kind of going through this again, the review, but you know, I think it probably is a kind of more likely a 99 now than it is, you know, kind of 98%. But yeah, it's just what a you know, kind of an experience, and watching it on Halloween, of course, was just amazing. You know, just wow, wonderful film here, and yeah, it's just amazing to have in my collection. So next up, of course, is the other 4K that came with this, and that was Dunkirk. Yes, reviewed this. You know, I think just definitely you know, my least favourite Nolan film. Currently, you know, I've yet to see Following. Although, you know, I might prefer that as well to this film, but I did like it. I think it was definitely an impressive film. I can't say much more about this. I've said in my review, but not one of my favourite films. Definitely not. I think you know, I really like what he's doing with the audio, and of course the visuals, and just I think, you know, it's definitely moving in places. It's got its moments, you know, of greatness. Overall, for me, it is a good film. It's a very tough film to watch. Just in the sense that I don't really connect to a lot of the way the characters are presented and stuff, and I know what he was going for, and I know a lot of people like that, and actually like that more. You know, the fact that it doesn't, you know, kind of develop the characters too much, you could say, and stuff. But yeah, I found it to be a very challenging experience, one that I don't really feel too much affection for personally. But I understand, of course, how it's loved so much, and yeah, just my least favourite Nolan, of course. But I do like this film. You know, I don't think he's made a bad film, certainly not. And I think one of the best directors, of course. Dunkirk for me, though, not his best, you know, best film, of course. Next up is Jordan Peele's Us, 4K. I did, of course, show this, you know, in my review of this film, and yeah, it's just again a good film. You know, again, very, very you know, kind of praised, of course, and I understand why. You know, it's a very unique film, of course, but yeah, just you know, a bit disappointing once again for me. I loved Get Out. You know, I think it's a horror masterpiece. You know, it really is a stunning film. But this, yeah, it's a good film. It's not exactly my cup of tea in certain areas. You know, it's just again a bit of a challenge. You know, I just found it very problematic personally. But of course, a good film. I would recommend this. You know, it's very unique. It's not like any film I've seen recently. But yeah, just you know, it's a good film. A bit disappointed for me personally. I loved, especially the first act, the first 40 minutes. But after that, it went off in different directions. You know, I found that I was kind of losing, you know, connection to the film, and it was kind of just, yeah, becoming something that I wasn't really loving, of course. I've got reviewed that film, of course. I've said what I need to say about that. But yeah, I recommend Us. I think it's a good film. And next up, of course, is John Carpenter's The Fog. Of course, here, a horror, great, in my opinion. And yes, just amazing to own this finally, you know, in my collection. Blu-ray collection here. You know, I picked this up, of course, to kind of rewatch, of course, around Halloween season. And yes, just not a great transfer, I must say. I've said that in my review, but you know, I don't want to know that we're kind of the direction they went for this transfer was a bit kind of weird. There was a lot of issues with the picture, but overall, of course, it is an improvement in terms of the colours, you know, the audio, of course, and just, you know, overall, I think, of course, it is an improvement over the DVD, but there's just a few issues that I didn't notice, and I didn't find, you know, when I watched it, of course, before the DVD. I think just with this transfer, it's not the best, but of course, the film for me is a horror great. I love this film, And yes, just one of the many John Carpenter films that I really, really respond to, and I think he's a great, great director. And The Fog is just, for me, a great film. And yes, here we are next with another film here, Master of Cinema. This time, Die Nibelungen. I think that's how you pronounce the film. But yes, a Fritz Lang piece. Never seen this, of course. Still sealed, as you can see. Spine number 46. Master of Cinema. Always great to own, a Master of Cinema, kind of Blu-ray here, and just really, really look forward to this one. I must say, certainly right, in my element here. Fantasy epic, a silent fantasy epic. That is me excited. That's for sure. Especially considering the praise this film has got. Of course, split into 2 parts, I believe. Yes, I think so. And it's around 5 hours, or so, I believe. But yes, really, really look forward to this one. Cannot wait for this film. And yes, I think probably my most hyped, kind of Fritz Lang film. I think I am hyped, of course, for all of his, the other films as well. But I think this is the one that really I get most excited for. Just in terms of what's kind of the genre and stuff. I think this could be my the one that I've been looking forward to the most. But yes, next up is another Fritz Lang film, and that is Metropolis. Yes, wow. Also a film that I'm very, very hyped for. Still got this kind of sticker on here, but yes, just a really interesting kind of addition here, and the artwork there. And yes, another Master of Cinema, spine number 16 this time. So yes, of course, I haven't seen this film yet. A sci-fi film here, it's still sealed as well. Sci-fi epic, and I believe it's the one that's reconstructed and restored. So the extra footage that had been kind of unseen by many for many years is actually included in this piece. So very, very look forward to that. Next up is quite random here in terms of what I picked up here, but yes, Nashville. Of course, Robert Altman. Never actually seen any of his films, and yes, this is probably the one that I'm looking forward to, along with kind of maybe a couple of other ones actually. Shortcuts. I look forward to this massively, of course, and yes, just it sounds like a very, very interesting film, and a lot of filmmakers, a lot of people in general, kind of say this is one of their favourite films, and kind of inspiring. So yes, very much looking forward to this. And next up is very it's a film that I love personally. Again, it's not that popular really, but yes, Face Off. Yes, John Woo, Face Off, of course, and just a normal Blu-ray here. This is one of my favourite films of all time. I personally love this film, and it's not a film that everyone loves, that's for sure. It's not exactly hailed as a kind of a great film. I do think that it is actually a masterpiece. Yes, I do. Just personally, it really is a special film to me. I think it's definitely my top 150 actually. After rewatching this, I have to admit, it is. I love this film. I love everything about this film. I'm not going to review the film. I can't review everything I watch, but yes, just for me, wow, definitely my favourite John Woo of the ones I've seen, and I love this film so much. It's absolutely insane. Trying to describe this film to someone who's not seen it, it's kind of very, very. It's hard to talk about, of course. It's insane, this film, but this is cinema, and I don't think it needs to make sense at all. It just is. It is for me a masterpiece of action, of comedy. This is one of the funniest films I've ever seen. Absolutely adore this film. Very close to my top 100 actually, if not in the top 100. I love it that much. Yes, very surprising, but I personally do feel that. And last but not least, Steve McQueen directs Shame. Never seen this one. This sounds very, very interesting. Maybe very dark actually. This film, but yeah, of course I've seen 12 Years a Slave, and I think it's just one of the best films of the century. So yes, want to check out the rest of his films, this is a film that I was really looking forward to as well. And yes, Hunger as well is another one he's done that's very, very praised, of course. But yes, that's it for now, and I'll be back again January, of course. Just after the new year, and another update video, and of course it will be a bigger haul then. And yeah, it's just the one that I kind of this is kind of a small kind of video in comparison to what will come. But yes, thought I'd do this update, just for the fun of it, of course, and to keep up with the series, as I always do, every 2 months now, and because 1 month is a bit too much, especially when you don't really get too much a particular month. Maybe it's kind of pointless to do a video on maybe 2 or 3 films. But yes, hope you enjoyed. Tell me your thoughts in the comments, and yes, as always, thanks for watching.